All right, everybody. Ready for a deep dive?
Let's do it.
Today, we are diving into anger management and conflict resolution,
Yeah,
which seems like one of those things that everybody's got an opinion on.
right.
So we asked you guys to send in your articles and research and all that good stuff.
Lots of material out there.
Oh, there really is.
Yeah.
So we are gonna kind of go through it and see what we can learn today.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, the first thing that really jumped out at me
Okay.
was this whole idea that anger isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
Like, it's not, you don't have to be like
Shut up.
all zen and
Yeah.
like, just suppress everything.
Like an emotion.
It's a natural human emotion, right?
It is.
And actually, I think one of the articles even used the analogy of like, oh yeah,
Like a fire alarm.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's like a signal
Yeah,
that something's wrong. Not necessarily that,
exactly.
something's wrong with you, but that there's something that needs to be addressed.
Something's off.
Yeah, something's off.
Yeah, and it's your brain kind of giving you that
Yeah.
alert signal, like, hey, pay attention to this.
Right, like, and figure out what's going on
Yeah.
instead of just being like, oh, I shouldn't be angry.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then you're just, suppressing it and it's going to come out some other way.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think, so that kind of leads into the next point, right?
Okay.
Which is, okay, so if we're not just suppressing it,
Mm-hmm.
then what do we do with it?
What do we do with this anger?
Right. How do we manage it?
Yeah.
And I think,
There was something in here, and I can't remember if it was specifically from one of the research articles or just something that you and I were talking about,
right?
but about how
It's all kind of blurring together.
it really is about how, like, unmanaged anger or that feeling, whatever you want to call it.
That's frustration.
Yeah, the frustration,
Yeah.
like, really can tank your productivity.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't focus
No.
when you're fuming. Right.
Right.
Like if you're really angry about something, you can't be productive.
You can't, it's like your brain just can't focus on anything else.
No, you're just thinking about whatever it is you're angry about.
Yes.
You're replaying it in your head. You're stewing on it.
Yes.
You're not getting any work done.
No.
Or if you are, it's probably not your best work.
Right. Right. And it's not just work.
No, not at all.
It's relationships too.
Relationships, absolutely.
Because if you are,
If you're constantly going off on people, yeah.
you're gonna damage those relationships.
Exactly.
So, if you're listening to this, think about,
Talk about a time.
a time when this has happened to you, where you've,
Your anger has gotten the best of you.
yes, where whether it's at work or in a relationship or just, just in your life.
Could even be like just, I don't know, stuck in traffic or something.
Yes.
Something small.
Something small.
That triggers you.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
Your whole day is thrown off.
road rage.
Yeah,
You know, something silly. So being able to manage that
Right.
and use those skills.
Yeah, and there are skills. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, you're angry, too bad.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, like you can actually learn to manage this.
Right. And I think that's where, the conflict resolution piece comes in.
Conflict resolution, yeah.
Because it's one thing to manage your own anger,
Right.
but it's a whole other thing to be able to, like, use those skills
In the moment.
when
Yeah.
you're dealing with another person who may also be angry.
Right. Who might be angry, who might have a different perspective.
Right.
Who might just be, pushing your buttons.
Right. Exactly.
And that's where those communication skills and that emotional intelligence
Yes.
really comes into play.
And I'm really glad you brought up the communication piece, because
yeah,
I think
really.
one of the things that I was reading about was this idea of, like, anger is often a secondary emotion,
Yes, it is.
right? Like, there's something else going on underneath.
There's always something else. done.
Yeah, and it's like, how do you get to that
Why-
and communicate that effectively?
Exactly. And sometimes it's hard to even know what that is.
Right.
Like sometimes you have to really sit with yourself and be like,
Why am I so angry?
what's really going on here?
Yeah.
Because it might not be the thing that's right in front of you.
Right.
It might be something deeper, some past experience or a pattern.
A pattern. Exactly. Or some unmet need.
Right. And being able to
Identified.
identify it,
Yeah. And then communicate that to the other person,
which can be hard.
which is so hard.
It can be really hard.
Because, we often go to that place of blame
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, you did this.
You made me feel this way.
Right. Instead of, being able to say, hey, when this happens, I feel this way.
Right. I feel hurt. I feel disrespected.
Right. And really owning that feeling.
Yeah. Owning your own feelings.
Yes.
That's huge.
That's huge.
It's huge in conflict resolution.
It is.
Because if you can own your own stuff, then you're not putting it on the other person.
Right.
You're not making them responsible for your emotions.
Right. It's not their job to manage your emotions.
Exactly.
Right. And that's where I think, going back to that productivity piece, that's where it all kind of ties together.
It all comes full circle.
Because if you are in a constant state of like reacting to your anger,
Yes.
you're not going to be productive.
You're going to be exhausted.
You're going to be exhausted.
You're going to be stressed.
You're going to be pushing people away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not a sustainable way to live.
It's not good for you.
No.
It's not good for your relationships.
Not at all.
So I'm curious for you listening,
Yeah.
and this might be something you need to think about after the show is over.
Journal about it.
Yeah, journal about it. But what's one small change?
One small thing
that you could make today?
Yeah.
To kind of start to, even if you're not, I'm not saying everybody listening to this has, anger management issues,
right.
but, we all experience anger.
We all do.
So what's one small thing you can do to, manage it a little bit better?
Yeah, what's one little tweak you can make?
Yeah, and it could be as simple as,
taking a breath.
Taking a breath. Or, before you,
before you respond.
Before you respond to that email, or before you,
Yeah.
say that thing to your partner.
Just a little pause.
Just a pause.
Yeah.
And see if that,
that makes a difference.
Makes a difference. Because I think sometimes that's all it takes.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah. It's just that little moment.
A little bit of space.
To kind of collect yourself.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think that this has been a really interesting deep dive.
It has.
And I hope that, for you listening,
yeah,
it gives you some things to think about.
Absolutely.
And some things to work on, because I know, I've certainly learned a lot.
Me too.
And I think this is something that, it's a lifelong journey.
It is. It's a practice.
It's a practice.
Yeah.
It's not like you just, listen to one episode and then suddenly
you're enlightened.
You're enlightened.
Yeah.
But it's something that, we can continue to work on.
And get better at. Yeah.
So on that note,
until
next time,
keep exploring those depths.
Yeah. See you later.